The wisest thing that you can do is the prevention of cancer. What are the most common causes of cancer? Number one is accumulation of toxins in the body, carcinogens. What are the sources of the most common carcinogens going into your body? The number one carcinogen that could be going into your body, radiation. Ionizing radiations or X-rays are carcinogenic. So the problem is that radiation is invisible. What's the second most common carcinogen? Tobacco. In the United States, we've really pushed back the tide of tobacco smoking. And in fact, tobacco that was grown in an area where there were trucks and cars spewing out fumes from leaded gas, it becomes much, much more carcinogenic. Number three is heavy metal contamination. Number four becomes oil-based carcinogens that mimic hormone molecule, what we call xeno hormones. Xeno means foreign. Foreign hormones are also called endocrine disruptors. So these are chemicals that are largely plastic residues. They're the byproducts of organic chemistry and manufacturing of plastics. So if I was going to suggest to you that you definitely notch up your spending on food for your cancer protection and say buy organic, I would prefer you to buy organic meats and wild caught fish that are not on the Monterey Bay seafood watch list in order to decrease your source of contamination from endocrine hormone disruptors that are carcinogenic. The next is the endocrine disruptors in skin and hair products. You can go to a website called EWG.org. It's a nonprofit committed to informing the American public on what products are measuring high in carcinogens and what are not. Now the next thing, food and beverage containers. Now this is a very interesting, because this is one of the areas where the FDA does some very, very brilliant work. So the FDA actually does a lot of work to look for carcinogens that are actually in the containers of food and medicine and beverages. So above and beyond those sources of contamination, the other things that help prevent cancers are primarily lifestyle. Stress is a big cause of immune breakdown that can potentiate or make someone vulnerable to a cancer. So it's really the contaminants, the lead in the tobacco or other things in the tobacco itself that are carcinogenic. So alcohol also has a direct effect or an association with cancer. That may be because of dissolved contaminants in the alcohol beverage, or it may be associated with the metabolic derangement. So this is one of the reasons why I'm always talking about raising your metabolism. Another cause of cancer is viruses, and we saw this particularly in our lifespans with HIV. And the viruses that are spread by sexual behavior, HPV. And then there's a whole large variety of what we call oncogenic viruses. Viruses that are common in vulnerable people. They create cancers. For example, the cancer that gives us mononucleosis, Epstein-Barr, also causes Burkitt's lymphoma, a cancer of the lymphatic system. So these are the things that we should put our attention to prevent.